Hello and welcome to Ray's Garden Tranquility. Today I'm going to show you what I do to maintain 2 gardens. Yes, you heard me right, 2 gardens. Every day I go out to the garden and see what needs to be done. And let's take a look what I did yesterday. It took me about an hour and a half to do some maintenance. I always start off by checking out what's in bloom. Currently the alliums are coming up. They bloom right after the daffodils. These gals come up every year. I have grown them for about 3 years now. Pardon the weed mess. I have neglected my first garden, but it has showed me love in return. It has brought up these fantastic alliums. They bloom each year, and they're one of my favorite bulbs to grow. They're just fantastic. After enjoying the flowers, I get to work. I like to start by inspecting what I'm going to be watering for that day. I want to make sure everything's growing nice and properly. And here's my row of hydrangeas. Here I'm showing how I like to water my hydrangea plants. I like to direct the hose at soil level, directing the water at the base of the plant to hydrate the roots. Try your best not to get the foliage wet. If you do, make sure your plant has enough daylight hours to dry off to hopefully prevent some fungal infections. While I wait for my timer to go off indicating to switch plants to water, I like to use my favorite tool to de-weed. I like to use a pocket knife because it gets into the soil and it helps remove those deep root weeds. And while I do that, Bailey came over and checked things out, see what mommy was doing, and just making sure her garden is up to her standards. While Bailey played with the water hose, the other 2 dogs came over and checked what I was doing. That was Eclair and Lady, and here we go. Here's Bailey again, checking things out, making sure everybody's staying out of trouble. Due to time, I stopped watering my row of hydrangeas and moved on to watering the catnip. As I was watering, I noticed there were some pesky weeds coming up, and I decided to get to work and remove them. I always tell myself to wear gloves, and I forgot again. Please let me know in the comments if anybody else forgets to wear their gloves because you're so busy working and just enjoying your garden. After I de-weed, I try to go back with some water to those sites where the weeds were removed to make sure the soil is nice and compacted around the plant. Next, I water my raised bed where I planted garlic. I follow the same process, directing the water at soil level. And I also planted romaine lettuce here. I read that they are great companion plants, so I experimented this year. So far I have not seen much of an issue, but again, I have neglected this garden quite a bit to attend to the second garden that I am currently building. But here I am showing how I water my garlic. And of course, we cannot end the day at the garden without looking at more blooms. We have some spent daffodils and of course more alliums. And there's Bailey Bear again. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to Ray's Garden Tranquility.